Hi, I'm Ari Roland, and I want to talk about major and minor sixth diminished scales. For every major chord and every minor chord, but first we'll talk about the major chords. Every major chord has a diminished chord that goes with it, and it's found on the 2. So an F major, for an F major chord, its diminished is G diminished, right? If I take a F major 6 chord, F, A, C, D, and I combine it with the diminished chord that goes with it, which is G diminished, G, B flat, D flat, E, I get a scale. This is the scale. F, G, A, B flat, C, D flat, D, E, F. A good way to practice this scale is to play the F6 chord, then the G diminished chord, then the F6 chord again, the first inversion, the G diminished, the first inversion, the F6, the second inversion, the G diminished, the second inversion, the F6 chord, the third inversion, and the G diminished, the third inversion. So you get remember, when you practice, always play in time. Always make it swing. Even if you're just by yourself, make sure you're swinging. Okay? So that means that when I'm on an F major chord, I'm walking the bass or soloing, besides the notes in the F major scale, I'm going to really think about that G diminished too, because that's the diminished that goes with F major. It's on the 2. C dominant 7 is the 5 dominant 7 of F major, right? Every dominant 7 chord has an important diminished found on the flat 2. So C dominant 7, its diminished is D flat diminished. That's the same diminished as G diminished. D flat diminished and G diminished are the same. So that tells us just how close F major and its dominant 7 chord, C7, are. Of course, the notes in the scale are exactly the same. Now I want to talk about minor chords. And when I say minor chords, I mean real minor. That means minor 1, flat 3, 5, minor 6, minor major 7. You can even have minor with a major 7th and an extension, a 9th on top if you want. But what I don't mean is minor 7 chords. I'm talking about real minor chords. These are the sad minor chords. When you hear these minor chords, you feel sad. They're supposed to be sad chords. Minor 7 chords are part of other chords. Here's a minor 7 chord. That's not a very sad minor chord. That's like a supermarket minor chord or an elevator minor chord. So I'm talking about the really sad minor chords. So when you see a song like My Funny Valentine, that's in the key of C minor, that first chord should be a real sad minor chord, a minor 6 chord or a minor major 7 chord. Each minor chord also has an important diminished, and lo and behold, it's found on the 2, just like the majors. So for F minor, the important diminished chord is G diminished. So just like you did with the majors, play the minors. F minor 6, G diminished. Then all the inversions. So when you're playing a real F minor chord, a real minor chord, make sure to use a lot of its important diminished. And if you listen to jazz and you hear all the great players, when they're on a minor chord, there's a lot of that diminished in there. Okay? So practice those scales. Every key, everything you practice, you have to practice in every key all over your instrument, right? So when you get done with F minor 6, then go to B flat minor 6. When you get done with E flat minor 6, go to A flat minor 6, and around the circle of fourths. Same thing with the majors. If you do that, you'll play all over your instrument.